Thank you for joining us for the Barbados Today evening news for Friday, July 7th. I am Mary-Claire Williams. Labour Minister Dr Esther Byer-Suckoo tells local trade unions they are engaging in an exercise in futility in their opposition to government's austerity measures. The unions had been calling for a repeal of the increase in the National Social Responsibility Levy or a coping subsidy for their members. But after a meeting of shop stewards yesterday, the unions said they are willing to accept a 50% reduction in the levy. They also announced plans to march from Queen's Park to Parliament on Tuesday in a show of opposition to the measures. But Byer-Suckoo told Barbados Today the unions are not handling the island's economic problem in a mature manner.
I'm a little bit curious, a little bit amazed that we're still coming to this position after having, from what I understand, I myself was not in the meeting, but after having been shown very clearly why we are where we are. What I would like to say is that this concept of coalition is a good idea. There is strength in coalition, but it's the wrong coalition. The coalition that we need right now is for all Barbadians, the unions, the employers, the government, the private sector, the civil society, for all of us, faith-based organizations, everybody to come together and work together through this. There is strength in unity. And it is not just this is not just a concept that is unique to trade unions. As a nation, we need that unity. And right now, if you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
Dr. Byer-Suckoo was speaking on the sidelines of the ICA Farm Graduation Program at the Harbour Industrial Estate. In other news, there's been yet another delay in the Hyatt case brought by social activist David Commission against the minister responsible for town and country planning, Prime Minister Frendel Stewart. High Court Judge Sonia Richards will now hear on August 10 Stewart's legal challenge of Commission's request for a judicial review of the permission granted to local businessman Mark Maloney to build the controversial multi-million-dollar Bay Street resort. The decision was taken today after the parties appeared before the judge in the No. 6 Supreme Court. Commission spoke to reporters after an in-chamber hearing this morning.
There will be further developments from there, but the thinking is that since that is a key issue, let the court deal with that first up, and let us see what is the finding where that issue is concerned. Of course, I am very confident that I do have sufficient interest in this matter to have standing to bring this application for judicial review. But we will have the hearing on the 10th, and we will see what the decision is. Yeah?
CEO of the National Cultural Foundation, Cranston Browne, is appealing to promoters to maintain some level of decency at their events. Browne was responding to a video making the rounds on social media where a boy was seen gyrating on an older woman at a recent fete.
As the agency responsible for the execution of this festival and the development of culture, we are appealing to the promoters to ensure that the performers at their events maintain some level of decency and decorum on stage. In this age of social media and the immediacy of the news environment, these things are damaging not only to the promoters of the event, but also to the image of the festival on a world stage.
And $50,000 will be up for grabs tonight in the second edition of the Bashment Soca competition at Kensington Oval. Various artists will also compete in the semi-finals of the Party Monarch and Sweet Soca competitions in what has been dubbed Phenomenal Friday. Barbados Today's Anmar Goodrich Boyce has been attending the rehearsals, and he has a preview of tonight's shows.
The stage is set for the 2017 Yellow Phenomenal Friday at Kensington Oval tonight. It will be the semi-finals of the Soca Royale competition, which will see 24 artists aiming for spots in the final at Bushy Park on July 30th. And of course, the final of the Bashment Soca competition. Faith Calendar, who will perform in both Party Monarch and Sweet Soca with Refill and Run It, is optimistic about her chances of a spot in the final. Like Faith, Mr. Blood is also in both competitions. He says he has been working diligently for the festival. reigning Bashment Soca King, Stiffy Star Quality, says he's confident of successfully defending his title with his instruction song Tip and Bend Over. However, Skrilla, who will be first out of the blocks with Wood, is the favorite, and he admits he is feeling a little bit of weight on his shoulders. So with $50,000 at stake and winner takes all, it's definitely going to be a phenomenal Friday. And more Goodrich Boys, Barbados Today.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Who calling? Get your yams and potatoes. Wait, my girl, how you want to see you for long?
I can't. How you keeping? But you don't sell the nation paper no more.
But that paper ain't selling. This month now I stop selling that. Look, one time I would have make a little dollar on the Sunday sun. But when Sunday night, I still trying to get the weather there.
Well, you know you can't call that the Sunday sun no more. You're going to call that sunset news. Call at night time that news stale.
People complain that them ain't got nothing in it to read and the price keep going up all the time. A woman abused me so sick the other day, telling me that she does read Barbados Today online for free. I can't take that abusing soul, so I switched to my potatoes and yams.
Well, let me tell you, if pork selling, you got to raise pigs. How much for the yams?
Oh, 75 cents a pound.
But that's cheaper than that stale news. Give me...
How much you want?
a pound.
Only a pound? Anyhow, these eating real good. Let me wrap them up for you. Come.
The Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region, and the government of Haiti is planning to start recruiting for a new army more than 2 decades after the previous one was disbanded following a military coup. Defense Minister Hervé Dennis says government is aiming to recruit an estimated 500 soldiers. Dennis told Reuters news agency that their duties will include rebuilding after national disasters as well as monitoring the country's borders. And finally, German Chancellor Angela Merkel today pressed fellow G20 leaders to compromise at the start of discussions on trade and climate change. Those issues have become even more contentious since the U.S. President Donald Trump took office in January, promising an America First approach. We get more in this Reuters report.
There was the blue, the red, and for his fans, the all-right, while outside there were flames of orange. This G20, a rainbow summit perhaps, but not a happy coalition.
We're talking about a not very united group of people who seem to be going in different directions, and that's before you start looking at politics and what's going on in the Middle East, for example, Korea, China, and so on.
China has already been feted this week as a guest of honour by hosts Germany as they chewed over possible trade ties. New alliances in vogue as old ones go out of fashion, amid tensions over a US threat to restrict imports, in this case of steel.
You've already heard that some are considering protectionist measures against national imports in the near future. Should this happen, the European Union will know how to react sufficiently.
So all this will play out in terms of Donald Trump's rhetoric with regards to the US's openness to trade. So I think we'll have to keep an eye on Mr. Trump's tweets to see exactly how he sees the significance of current international trade arrangements.
Though Trump's tweets were talking of other things, ahead of a global first. 2 leaders, 1 handshake providing the moment. If a scheduled conflict of later Trump-Putin talks saw some shake heads, the US president unlikely to attend discussions at the same time on the other divisive summit issue.
And that's the news this evening. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. You can find us on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. We're also on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Good evening.